Before you give up on her, pause for a moment. Not because love should make you suffer, not because you should beg someone to stay, and not because every relationship is meant to be saved, but because sometimes what feels like the end is actually the moment where your ego is loudest, your pain is deepest, and your wisdom is needed the most. Stoicism teaches us that the real battle is not always with the person in front of us. Sometimes the real battle is inside us. It is between pride and patience, between anger and understanding, between wanting to be right and wanting to love well. So before you walk away, before you send that final message, before you convince yourself that she does not care, watch this with an open mind, because this may not just be about her, it may be about the man you are becoming. Love has a strange way of testing us. When everything is beautiful, it is easy to say, "I love you." It is easy to be kind when she is kind. It is easy to be patient when she understands you. It is easy to be loyal when the relationship feels peaceful. But the real test comes when things become difficult, when she becomes distant, when communication feels cold, when arguments repeat, when your mind starts creating stories. She does not love me anymore. She is losing interest. She does not respect me. She is treating me like I do not matter. Maybe some of those things are true, maybe they are not. But a stoic man does not react only to the storm inside his head. He steps back. He observes. He asks, what is actually happening, and what am I adding to it? Because most of our pain does not come from the event itself. It comes from the meaning we attach to it. She replies late, and you call it disrespect. She needs space, and you call it rejection. She is quiet, and you call it betrayal. She is overwhelmed, and you call it a lack of love. But what if she is tired? What if she is afraid? What if she is struggling with something she cannot explain? What if she does love you, but she does not know how to show it in the way you expect? This does not mean you ignore reality. It means you do not let fear become your reality. The Stoics believed that we must separate what is in our control from what is not. You cannot control her feelings. You cannot control her past. You cannot control her mood. You cannot control whether she chooses you every day. But you can control your character. You can control your words. You can control whether you respond with maturity or react with wounded pride. You can control whether you listen to understand or listen only to defend yourself. You can control whether you become bitter or become better. And this is where many people fail in love. They think love means controlling the outcome. They think love means making someone behave exactly the way they want. They think love means, if you love me, you will never hurt me, never confuse me, never disappoint me. But real love is not control. Real love is presence with wisdom. It is the ability to care deeply without losing yourself completely. It is the ability to say, I love you, but I will not abandon my dignity. It is the ability to say, I want this to work, but I will not force what is not mutual. Before you give up on her, ask yourself one honest question. Are you leaving because the relationship is truly unhealthy? Or are you leaving because your ego is tired of feeling vulnerable? There is a big difference. If she constantly disrespects you, lies to you, manipulates you, humiliates you, or makes you feel small, then Stoicism does not tell you to stay. Stoicism is not weakness. Stoicism is not tolerating abuse. Stoicism is not becoming silent while someone destroys your peace. A Stoic knows when to walk away, but he walks away calmly, not cruelly. He leaves with clarity, not revenge. He does not need to break someone just because he is broken. But if the relationship is not toxic, only difficult, then do not confuse struggle with failure. Every meaningful bond will face seasons of silence, misunderstanding, distance, and emotional confusion. Love is not always warm. Sometimes love is two people learning how not to hurt each other with their unhealed wounds. Sometimes love is learning that she does not think like you. She does not process pain like you. She does not communicate fear like you. She may withdraw when she is overwhelmed. You may chase when you feel insecure. She may need time. You may need reassurance. And suddenly, neither of you is wrong, but both of you feel hurt. This is where wisdom matters, because without wisdom, you will attack each other. With wisdom, you will study each other. You will stop saying, "Why are you like this?" and start asking, "What are you feeling that I am not seeing?" That one shift can change everything. Marcus Aurelius said that people are made for one another, but that does not mean people are easy. It means relationships require patience, humility, and discipline. And love without discipline becomes chaos. You cannot say everything you feel the moment you feel it. You cannot punish her with silence just because you are hurt. You cannot test her love by acting cold and hoping she chases you. You cannot keep score forever and expect intimacy to survive. A relationship cannot breathe when both people are trying to win. So before you give up on her, give up first on the need to win every argument. Give up the need to always prove your pain is greater. Give up the need to make her admit everything exactly the way you want. Give up the fantasy that love means never being misunderstood. Sometimes the strongest thing you can say is, "I want to understand you." Not, "You always do this." Not, "You never care." Not, "I am done." But help me understand what is happening between us. That sentence is not weakness, it is leadership, emotional leadership, the kind that many people never learn. Now, this does not mean you become the only one trying. Love must be mutual, effort must be mutual, respect must be mutual. If you are always the one apologizing, always the one reaching out, always the one carrying the relationship, then you must look at that honestly. A Stoic does not lie to himself just to keep someone. He does not call neglect love. He does not call anxiety passion. He does not call emotional starvation loyalty. You can love someone and still realize they are not willing to meet you halfway. You can care deeply and still choose peace. But make sure your decision comes from truth, not impulse. Many people destroy relationships in one emotional night, one angry message, one prideful decision, one moment of, "Fine, I do not care anymore." But they do care. They care deeply. They just do not know how to sit with pain without turning it into damage. This is why Stoicism is so powerful in love. It teaches you to pause, to breathe, to not become a slave to the first emotion that rises in your chest, because feelings are real, but they are not always wise. Anger may feel powerful, but often it is just pain wearing armor. Jealousy may feel like proof of love, but often it is fear trying to control. Silence may feel like strength, but often it is pride hiding from honesty. Before you give up on her, look at yourself too. Have you been patient? Have you been honest? Have you listened? Have you created safety for her to speak? Have you loved her as she is, or have you only loved the version of her that meets your expectations? These questions are not meant to blame you. They are meant to free you, because the moment you stop only asking, "What is she doing wrong?" and start asking, "Who am I becoming in this relationship?" you regain your power. You cannot make her change, but you can choose not to become cruel. You can choose not to become desperate. You can choose not to lose your self-respect. You can choose to love with open hands. That means you give your best, but you do not beg. You communicate, but you do not chase endlessly. You forgive, but you do not forget the lessons. You stay if staying is healthy. You leave if leaving is necessary. But whatever you do it with dignity. There is a quiet strength in a man who can say, "I love you, and I am willing to work on this." And there is also quiet strength in a man who can say, "I love you, but I cannot keep losing myself." Both can be true. The key is knowing which truth belongs to your situation. So how do you know? Look at the pattern, not just the moment. Everyone has bad days. Everyone says the wrong thing sometimes. Everyone can become distant when life becomes heavy. Do not judge the whole relationship by one painful moment. But also, do not ignore a repeated pattern that keeps breaking you. If she makes a mistake and takes responsibility, that is different from someone who hurts you and blames you for bleeding. If she struggles to communicate but is willing to try, that is different from someone who refuses to care. If she needs space but still respects you, that is different from someone who disappears and returns whenever it suits her. Wisdom is knowing the difference. Patience is beautiful when there is love. Patience is dangerous when there is disrespect. So before you give up on her, have the honest conversation. Not the dramatic one, not the one filled with accusations, the honest one. Say what you feel without attacking. Say what you need without demanding. Ask what she feels without interrupting. And then listen, really listen, not to prepare your reply, not to catch her in a mistake. Listen to understand the world she is living in, because maybe she has been hurting too. Maybe she has been feeling unseen. Maybe she has been waiting for you to soften. Maybe she has been protecting herself from a version of you that only comes out when you feel threatened. And maybe, when both of you finally stop defending your wounds, you will see that love was still there, buried under pride, buried under fear, buried under all the things nobody said properly, but also be prepared for another possibility. Maybe the conversation will show you that the love is not mutual anymore. Maybe she has already left emotionally. Maybe she does not want to try. Maybe you are holding on to memories, not reality. If that is the truth, accept it. Not because it does not hurt. It will hurt. But because chasing someone who does not choose you is not love. It is self-abandonment. The Stoic path is not to become cold. It is to become clear, to feel pain without letting pain rule you, to love without becoming possessed by love, to lose without losing yourself. If she stays, love her with wisdom. If she leaves, let her go with grace. And if you leave, leave as a man who learned something, not as a man who became bitter. Do not let one heartbreak turn your heart into a weapon. Do not let disappointment make you cruel. Do not say, I will never love again. Say, I will love better next time. Because every relationship teaches you. Some teach you patience. Some teach you boundaries. Some teach you forgiveness. Some teach you self-respect. And some teach you that love alone is not enough without maturity. Before you give up on her, make sure you have given your best, not your fear. Make sure you have spoken the truth, not just acted out your pain. Make sure you have listened, not just waited to be understood. Make sure you are choosing peace, not just escaping discomfort, because the goal is not simply to keep her. The goal is to become the kind of person who can love with strength, wisdom, and dignity. And sometimes that kind of love saves the relationship. Sometimes it saves you. So pause, breathe. Do not rush the decision that your future self will have to live with. Look at her clearly. Look at yourself honestly. Look at the relationship without fantasy and without fear. Then choose. If there is still respect, effort, and love, do not give up too quickly. Fight for it, not with anger, but with patience. Not with control, but with understanding. Not with desperation, but with calm strength. But if there is no respect, no honesty, no willingness, and no peace, then let go. Not to punish her, not to prove a point, but because your soul also deserves a home. In the end, love is not about holding someone so tightly that they cannot breathe. It is about standing beside someone freely, honestly, and courageously. And if both people are willing to grow, even a wounded relationship can become stronger. But if only one person is willing, then the lesson is not to try harder forever. The lesson is to walk forward with dignity. Before you give up on her, become still enough to know the difference. And before you give up on love, remember this: the right love will not ask you to abandon yourself, and the right version of you will not abandon someone just because love became difficult. That is the balance. That is the lesson. That is the Stoic way. If this message reached you at the right time, take a moment and reflect before you act. And if you know someone who is about to give up on love out of anger, pride, or pain, share this with them. Subscribe for more powerful lessons on Stoicism, self-control, and becoming stronger in life and relationships. Thank you for watching, and remember, control your actions, master your emotions, and let wisdom guide your heart.